Okay, I've been doing some tinkering around on the kayak. Last time I was in the sitting kayak, I had to makeshift something to give me some leverage to pull the kayak up that stretch of water. Now, what I've done is the stick not great, and I want to show you what I've created here. And I haven't closed it off at the moment, but and the reason I haven't closed it off is because I at least wanted to show you what I've got. Handle itself has come from a it's from a camera mount. So you know, you've got like those shoulder rigs and stuff, how they've got like a frame and it's a camera rig effectively. This is a handle for one of those. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the camera, put you on my chest, and I'm going to explain to you how I've threaded this stuff in here, and hopefully that'll make a lot more sense, because this will give me a lot more leverage than the uncomfortableness pulling it up that bit of the river. Reason I'm doing this is that spot is the quickest and easiest from my home to get in and out from. So just suck it up and, you know, extend the rope and make do. We'll get this working so that it'll be a much easier exercise. But I just figured I'd show you what I've done, because in case some people have some questions, and you can just go have a look for yourself. Put you on my chest. Okay, so I've already modified this, but I haven't screwed this final cap back on. So this bit here, imagine I don't have the rope running through it. This had a one of those tripod screws that goes into the back of a normal, you know, the back of a camera plate. So that sat in there, which also goes into the back of a camera. And this was effectively, the way that this worked was, this was just a handle that you use for mounting. You'd obviously use more than one, and you got the rig on you, or on your shoulders or whatever, or on your chest. Anyway, I've gotten a screw, a drill, and I've drilled in through the back. I'll be able to see through there. I've drilled in through the back and tapped this guy out. So I've grabbed some locking pliers, locked up in here, grabbed the drill, did it by hand up against the wall where they were in between the bricks, you know, where the mortar is, so that while this was in, you know, up against the bricks that way, so that's where that was, I was drilling in through here, right? And I managed to get that pop out. Didn't come out straight, but that doesn't matter. So then I've threaded it in here. Got some paracord, which I think is 7-strand paracord, pretty strong stuff. I've looped it in here, wrapped it in here, I've burnt the edges so that no fraying, ran it through. And the knot that I've done is, I've just done like a granny knot, but I've looped it twice. So instead of just doing like that, I've gone 2 times, right? Those 2 times has given me a knot that looks like that. Right, there's my 2 turns. So that goes obviously in here, right? That's not going to come through. This other one already had a hole in here. This was a much larger thread. There's a thread in here. It's a much larger one, so I've wrapped that one 3 times, and I could just barely get it through this hole with the 3 turns. So I'm not going to bother trying to get that out. That's in there well and secure. That's not, oh, there you go. I've gotten the case minus the skin. So anyway, it's in there. This is all aluminium. We've got plastic shell on the outside, and then rubberized over the top. Right, so let me see. Okay, so that's back up there. Now let's get this in here. Anyway, that's in, and now we've got a hex. I'm being pretty brutal, it's okay. just a handle. Okay. So this is effectively what I'm left with. Might need to do some jiggling. Got a little bit of, that's better. Anyway, so that's what I'm left with. Got real leverage in there. Those knots are not going to come apart. And if I need to take this out, if I need to undo that knot, that's just a simple, again, a granny knot, single loop over the top. If I need to get that out, I'll pull that through here with a pair of pliers, loosen it up, and we can go. But the reality is now I can loop this in with the other rope, whatever that is, and I've got something heavy enough that I can throw, but I'm not going to get stabbed by this nonsense, right? So, you know, in here, this is the way that I typically attach them. So run one loop through the other. I don't know what this is actually called, but you know, you see that it is kind of, and that's how typically I'll attach my stuff in the kayak. I can remove them fairly easy. There's my handle, you know, and then what I'll do from here, just stand up, and then what I'll do from here is okay, I've done a few half hitches here because I was trying to get it not to spin. This gave me a fair bit of grief having this on the log or on the branch. Again, I had that loop the same way. You know, the same way that I attached these is the same way that I had that looped in. So, you know, you got a loop like this, run the loop in there, you know, chuck whatever you're trying to do and cinch it on. Right, that's effectively all I did. Right, so along here I can just, you know, doesn't have to be perfect, it's only for storage, so get used while it's in the kayak. Yeah, and then when you want, you know, you want to cinch it down, you just half hitch it. It's like a loop. It's like a loop that you turn in on itself, like that. And then when you cinch it down, it's just enough to hold that. I can get that out fairly easy, just like that. Here's my loop. Loop over the top. Anyway, I don't know if that's going to help you. And in case you've got any questions on what that monstrosity now is, this is my replacement to the old stick. Give myself a bit more grip and leverage.